Harrods, how the London store became as famous as Big Ben. London's Harrods department store is the largest in Europe. So large, in fact, that it even has its own postcode, SW1X, 7XL. Its 330 departments, filled with a variety of luxury goods, occupy 102,000 square meters, roughly a third larger than Moscow's GUM department store. How Harrods became one of London's main attractions, why Shakhtar Donetsk footballers were once denied entry, and what could have radically changed the store's history, we'll explain below. Almost 2 centuries ago, in 1824, 25-year-old Charles Henry Harrod opened his first business in London. He sold fabrics and various haberdashery goods until 1831. In 1832, Charles opened his first grocery store, and in 1834, he moved to another location and focused on wholesale and tea sales. Harrod's official founding date is considered to be 1849, when Charles moved again, acquiring premises on Brompton Road where the store is located today. The main motivation for the move in 1849 was the proximity to Hyde Park, where the Great Exhibition of Industrial Works of All Nations was scheduled to take place in 1851. The plan proved successful. After a strong start, the shop, run by 2 assistants, grew rapidly, and by 1880, it employed 100 people. At this time, Charles Henry Harrod's son, Charles Digby Harrod, was already responsible for the development. Fire and the first escalator. Much of the progress made by Charles Digby Harrod was destroyed by fire in December 1883. Using temporary warehouses and premises, Harrods fulfilled all orders in time for the Christmas sales and earned enough to return to business the following year. The fire was also used as an opportunity for further expansion. A new design was commissioned from architect Charles William Stevens, who had been working on it since 1892. It is thanks to Stevens that the current building has a distinctive Baroque facade. On November 16, 1898, Harrods became famous for launching England's first moving staircase, an escalator. Customers venturing up were offered brandy to calm their nerves after the ascent. New building, change of ownership and expansion. The building designed by Stevens was fully completed in 1905. Its luxurious appearance and vast space immediately established the store's status, which, incidentally, had previously been unrivaled in London. At the time, Harrods was frequented by such personalities as Oscar Wilde, Laurence Olivier, Sigmund Freud, Charlie Chaplin, Ellen Terry, and many members of the royal family. The Harrod family stepped away from management in 1889, when businessman Edgar Cohen bought Charles's stake for £120,000. However, the name remained unchanged. It had already become a significant brand with decades of history. In 1914, a store of the same name, the first and last Harrods outside of England, opened in Buenos Aires, Argentina. 10 years later, it was sold and became independent, and in 2011, it closed. By 1959, Harrods shareholders had acquired numerous other stores, including Dickens and Jones, Kendall's, Swan and Edgar, D.H. Evans, John Walsh, William Henderson and Co., and Rackham's. Many of these were renamed House of Fraser, the same conglomerate that acquired Harrods in 1959. The current owner is the state-owned Qatar Investment Authority, which acquired Harrods in 2010 for £1.5 billion from billionaire Mohammed Al Fayed. Assortment and interesting facts. Few tourists return from London without a Harrods bag. Despite the high prices, many regard the famous store as a landmark on par with Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament. However, before visiting, it's worth remembering the dress code, in effect since 1989, which prohibits entry in revealing or dirty clothing or uniforms. For example, in 2010, security turned away Shakhtar Donetsk football players because they arrived in uniform and in a crowd. Even more interestingly, that same evening, they lost to Fulham, which was also owned by Mohammed Al-Fayed at the time. Pop star Kylie Minogue, Australian musician Jason Donovan, and British actor Luke Goss were also denied entry. But what attracts over 300,000 people to Harrods every day? In addition to luxury departments featuring Burberry, Chanel, Balmain, Givenchy, Tom Ford, Gucci, and other renowned brands, the store boasts 32 fine dining restaurants, as well as spas, hair salons, ateliers, pharmacies, and much more. The most famous departments are the Christmas section, which blooms in November and December, and the grocery section, where you can find products from all over the world. Why Harrods may not have existed. Relatively recently, in 2017, Robin Harrod, the great-great-great-grandson of the founder of Harrods, published a history of the store based on his research. He discovered that Charles Henry Harrod narrowly escaped deportation to Tasmania, Australia, in 1836, where he would have been sent on charges of trafficking in stolen goods. The incident occurred because one of the company's suppliers stole 50 kilograms of currants from a competitor's store and resold them to Charles. The supplier was sent to Tasmania, and Charles himself was sentenced to a year in prison. His brother, William, managed the business during his imprisonment. Had Charles been sent to Tasmania, the story of Harrods might have ended there. Few people returned from there in those days.